Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live show. I am Fabiana Claure, pianist and business strategist for musicians, and I'm thrilled to come to you once again to share insights and information and strategies to help you build a music business that scales and that allows you to win back your time and no longer have to sacrifice your quality of life in the process. Today's training is about understanding the basic structures and systems to elevate your team's performance, and how can you become a better musician CEO, a better leader that helps your team meet the expectations of what you need them to do, and at the same time empowers them to be co-creators of your business growth, to be active participants, and to have an important say in the outcomes of your organization. So say hello in the chat if you're watching me live. Let me know where you are watching me from today. I'd love to hear from you. And also, when it comes to improving your team's performances, what are your primary concerns? Right? The more I hear from you, the better I can tailor the contents of this trainings. So let's talk about the first and most important aspect of improving your team's performance. The first aspect is ownership. When you think about having people around you, people that are going to depend on your leadership and guidance, you want to always recognize that the buck stops with you. You need to know that your team's success, your team's failures are always going to be, in great part, 80% of the part, I would say, or maybe 90% of the part, a result of your influence, a result of your clarity, a result of your direction, and a result of your overall leadership skills. And when you start this process by really taking ownership of your team's performance and recognizing that if something is not working in the way they're doing what they're doing in your organization, instead of looking at them and focusing on what they need to do differently, only you want to look at yourself. You want to take ownership as a CEO. What do you need to do differently to help your team get better results? Perhaps you haven't been clear enough in terms of setting the right expectations. Perhaps you haven't been giving them enough feedback at a fast enough pace that would allow them to succeed in what they need to do, right? Perhaps you've been vague about what they need to do and how they need to meet the goals, right? So always taking this first step of saying, this is how my team is going to succeed. It's a result of how I guide them and how I coach them. A lot of the things that we see when our clients are struggling to really help their team create better performance is that they haven't really guided them in what it takes to succeed. Have you ever heard the term drive-by delegation, where it's just like, hey, I'm just dropping this off and hoping that you take it off my plate, go figure it out, and let's see how it goes? You don't want to be that type of a leader. You need to be able to break it down clearly, explain what the expectations are, what does success look like for that role, and how can you help your clients, your team, meet your expectations as a result of the processes you've laid out for them already. You see, right now, chances are you're doing many things in your business. You're taking many different roles. And even the idea of bringing on team may be something that overwhelms you, right? Because you're thinking, how could I possibly manage getting other people to meet these standards, to do the things at the caliber of quality and excellence that I'm able to do it? And so you need to be very careful in saying the only way they're going to succeed is if I take full responsibility and accountability in coaching them to success, in guiding them to success, not just expecting them to have to figure it out all out on their own. So that's the first thing, ownership, right? The second part is being able to understand that when you are leading your team, you need to have touch points that go beyond just the group interactions, right? You need to be able to create with the people who report directly to you, right? Whether you're starting out or you already have, a group of people working in your organization, there needs to be one-on-one touch points that you build, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, but you need to dedicate time for just one-on-one interactions with your team. One-on-one conversations that would allow your team to be able to share about their personal journey, the progress they feel they're making or not making in the work they're doing, and what are the next milestones, the next things to conquer, the next things to overcome, right? And having that, whether it's directly with you as the leader or maybe having other people in your team create those one-on-one touch points. It's really important that they have those moments, because sometimes in team meetings and in group settings, just the communication doesn't flow in a way where they feel vulnerable enough or wanting to be vulnerable enough, open up themselves enough to share with you what's really going on. They may have some mindset challenges. They may have some personal challenges. They may have some health challenges. You never know. And these are things that typically when you're talking about elevating your team's performance, if you don't have a system of checking in an intimate and direct way with your team, you may miss on those opportunities to help your team succeed in a deeper way. Sometimes your team needs that direct conversation. Like, hey, how are things going? What's going on in your life? How are you feeling? How is the experience of working in my company looking like for you? What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What's the next hurdle, right? All of these things are things that you're going to want to have opportunities for your individual team members to communicate to you, right? Whether it's, again, to you or to a direct report, right? A leader that you put to manage them. So making sure that you create one-on-one touch points with your team, either weekly or bi-weekly, at least bi-weekly at a minimum, is very, very important because you need those moments of just direct contact and direct feedback. You could also let them know what are the things that you're noticing about their performance. How can they improve? Maybe some things they can do that are better, maybe some things that they need to improve. Like, what are the things that you feel they need to do to continue succeeding in their role? Sometimes those things you may not want to share them in a group setting, right? So looking for these opportunities to have that one-on-one. And the third thing, we talked about ownership. We talked about creating one-on-one touch points, right? The third thing is creating clear expectations for what does success look like, right? Key performance indicators, KPIs. That's like the common term in the business lingo, right? Do you have a clearly laid out description of what does success look like in their role, right? Does your team member know that if they get to this milestone, they break this thing together, they create this process, they build this thing, this system, they get this result, that they can actually exceed performance expectations, that this is going to show that they're actually doing well in their role. If your teams don't really have that, and it's okay if you don't have it at the beginning, but you could actually co-create that with your actual team member as well. As you start creating more responsibilities for that team member, you can actually say, like, how do you want this role to evolve? I'm seeing that you've got potential for doing this. By the way, if you haven't done personality tests on your team, like, you want to make sure you do that, whether it's Strengths Finder or Culture Index or Human Design, whatever you can do that works, Myers-Briggs. There's so many personality tests that you should absolutely do with your team so that you understand more of their way of thinking, the way they make decisions, the things that they're good at, the things that they're not good at, and you can help shape the role and responsibility of the team based on their unique personal, wiring of their brain, right? So that's just like a bonus tip. But in this third section, that we're talking about being able to, have that clear key performance indicator metric. There are different types of roles, different types of ways that you're going to need to create this, whether it's on a sales role, whether it's on an operationals administrative role, whether it's on a client services role. Whatever role this team member you're thinking of is playing, you want to establish some parameters of what the success look like in that role. How do you define success? It is not enough to simply assign things to someone. If you're serious about elevating your team's performance, you need to break it down exactly so they know, if you do this, you're going to get success. You're going to be meeting the expectations or maybe surpassing the expectations. And if you don't get to this point, if you don't achieve these parameters, these metrics, these results, then we need to work collaboratively to help you elevate your performance and help you improve on those results. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat if this is helping you, if it's giving you some ideas. But the idea here is that you really think carefully. If you have team members and they're not working out, they're not performing the way you want them to, whether it's a virtual assistant, whether it's a sales team member, anyone that you have on your team, it's so important that you start with the ownership element. I cannot emphasize enough how much you're going to grow, how much of a visionary leader you're going to become if you simply commit to taking ownership of the decisions that your team is making and the way they're creating results and helping play an active role in their success. And when things don't work the way you want them to, which, trust me, it's going to happen. Whether you want it or not, it's bound to happen, right? When things don't work out, to look at what did you do that led to that? At which point in the process were you not clear? What could you have done better? Trust me, this happens at any stage in business. Whether you're starting, you're a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business, you cannot not have this. You see what I mean? You need to think in this way if you're really serious about becoming a visionary musician CEO and having people that are going to be in your team helping you build that vision, bring it to life. Okay? So I want to encourage you to make sure that you are thinking about this and you're, reflecting on it every step of the way. And if you have any questions and you would like to know more about how we can help you perhaps create a customized plan on building your own leadership skills, developing what you need to become a strategic and eloquent and visionary CEO in your music business, then all you need to do is go to fabianaclaure.com/connect, and you can book a call and connect with either me or a member of my team. And we will be happy to give you a personalized plan on how you could develop your better leadership skills. What are some of the places in your business that you may need to organize or restructure to create more leverage, to bring back down the amount of hours you're spending in the business? And how could you potentially create a better team around you, one that's more accountable, one that's more effective, and that truly supports your business and becomes an asset to your business instead of a liability. We want you to feel excited about hiring team. We want you to feel clear and confident that you can grow and you don't have to do it alone. Okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you for that comment. Timely advice is I'm in the hiring process. Fantastic. I can't see your name. It says Facebook user, but at any rate, let me know your name so I know who I'm talking to. And I'm so happy that this is helpful. And of course, as I do every week, if you have any additional questions, of course, you know where to find us. And if you would like me to talk about any topic in specific, just put it here in the comments. We always are looking for feedback from our community. Oh, Clifford. There you go. Clifford. Fantastic. Great to see you here, Clifford. Okay, so I hope this helps. And let me know, what you want me to talk about in our next live stream. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Take care, and let's prosper together.